Nowadays, I always feel like that Google understands me better than myself, and I know a lot of you feel that as well. For example, when I first entered college, I wanted a new computer. Back then, I haven't told anyone or even looked into it yet. However, one day I opened Chrome on my computer, and there they are, a list of computer advertisements staring at me across the screen. And when I open YouTube, the very first recommended video is called 5 Best Ways to Identify Your Personal Laptop. In this big data era, companies and organizations always use data to establish their best strategies. And you, as an individual, always do that as well. You're not only studying data in your academic life, but use it for smaller, simpler things as well. For example, the chance you take somebody out. Studying the field of engineering, I deeply appreciate the importance and powerfulness within numbers and how close it is to human lives. So for this presentation, I recommend the annual activity at Purdue called Dawn or Doom, which invites professionals from all fields to talk about data and how can we individuals apply the knowledge into our lives. Go to their website and watch one of the previous presentations will allow you to understand yourself better, learning the data science and everything and everyone around you. Also, you are more likely to succeed in the future. First, let's talk about why we should learn data and why it is important. This is a list from the Council of Quality stating 12 reasons why data is important. From this list, you can see that data is important because it gives us freedom to view the world in the least biased way. You're making decisions and value things based on your judgment and concrete fact, the numbers, rather than other people's opinions. And this previous presentation of the events I'm recommending also states that, called The Vital Need for Data Science and Data Literacy in the Age of Big Data. This presentation gives out the information about how the world collects and sort data and how the information is outputted to each one of us. During this presentation, you will learn where you're at in this world and how can you turn the systematic structure into your personal advantage. And now that we understand the importance of data, I want to use two previous presentation examples from the Dawn or Doom to let you know the interesting fact of about this event and some knowledges you will gather. The first one is called Nasty, Brutish, and Dumb, Humans and Their Phones, from Nicholas Carr. And this title immediately reminds me of back in the day when my mom just yelled at me saying, "No more phones, and they're making you dumb." And I was thinking that, no, that's not true. You're too old-fashioned for this. Well, is she? According to this presentation, growing up with technology have its downsides and upsides. And how can we generation constantly accessible to technologies rid us of the negativities of the technology? I'm not gonna give out all the informations, just the teasers and some questions to get your interest and give out the questions for you to think about. Second example I'm going to use is called, Is AI going to throw us off the cliff or give us the wings to evolve? This presentation is very informative in many ways, but one thing I found interesting about it is that it talks about one thing called social media score. As you know that people are on social medias all the time, but they did not realize that social medias like Facebook or Twitter gather the information they leave out and form a score and sell it to big corporatives and companies for their interest. So how are we going to protect ourselves from leaking information through randomly filled out quizzes or just some unconscious clicks? And how are we going to take this into our advantage and choose the information to give out? Learning these presentations from Dawn or Doom event can ask questions that you have always wanted to ask but haven't figured out how to ask, or just some things you never thought of. And thinking about these will allow you to understand you as a person and your place in this world and your environment better. So if you're curious about the world, want to seek answers and understand deeper, click the link. And well, watch the presentations. Thank you. And here are the references.